my friends, welcome to a new video. So a few months ago, I posted a video where I was reading Goodreads recommended, how am I going to word this? Books that Goodreads recommended to me based on my previous reads and based on books that I really enjoyed. So, I had the most fun time ever doing this first edition. I found a few books that I really enjoyed and decided, why the hell not? Let's do another round. So I've been continuing on and just compiling my recommendations, and I am so ready to just see how these go for me. So last time I tried not to do too many fantasy romances because a lot of them were being recommended based on one series that I really enjoyed, which was I don't know what it's called, but the first book is Psycho Shifters by Jasmine Maas. And so many books are being recommended to me based on this series, which is a 5-star series overall for me. And I was trying to limit myself and not read too many. This time I'm saying, fuck it. Let's read as many books as we can that are recommended based on the series, because clearly all the recommendations have been working for me. So let's try some more fantasy romance. And I do have, I think, 1 or 2 other books that are not recommended based on this one, but by large, we are doing fantasy romance. And we might as well just get into these recommendations. And I haven't looked up too much of the plot of these, and I actually don't even want to. I want to go in kind of just based on the vibes that I am being told it might have. So let's look at what I'm being recommended. So based on Psycho Devils, we have Feral Omega and Demon Reform Academy. I'm thinking both of these are going to be wide shoes, potentially very toxic males, very insane, over the top kind of romantasy. Both things I love. Actually, I was wrong. There's a third one that's based off Psycho Devils too, which is Fractured Fate. So again, same thing. I think it's just going to be potentially wide shoes, romantasy, shifter romance maybe, and a little unhinged. Then based on Claimed by the Court, The Horde King, which was a very, overall favorite of Alien romance series that I deeply enjoyed. I have claimed, what is it? Alien Protector's Mate. Seems on the description, the very little I looked into this one, it is fated mates, and they're potentially barbarian aliens. All things I really enjoy. And I just so happen to be somebody who is a huge alien romance lover, so why not? And then based on The Three Body Problem, which is a huge fantasy sci-fi epic that I loved, we have The Forever War. And there's part of me that thinks I know what this one's about. I think I've heard of it. I recognize the name, and that's the main reason I picked this one. And also, The Three Body Problem overall was one of the most interesting sci-fi reads I've ever had. The different thought explorations and just areas that they explored in that one was so fascinating. So anything that's kind of recommended similarly, I'm down. I think that it is something that could be incredibly interesting to explore. So those are the 5 books that we're going to be reading in this video. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to pick up a fantasy romance first. And yeah, we're getting into it. Hello, we have progress on our first. So I decided to go into Feral Omega, which I haven't read a good Omegaverse book in a moment. Just in general, I haven't read Omegaverse in a while, and I think I am desperately missing it because immediately I got so excited reading this one. And I do think I need to do a project potentially this fall or winter where I deeply delve into the Omegaverse and just explore the genre so much more. I'll probably detail it on here / eventually do a video just going over all things Omegaverse, because it is something I love. It is something I am always so into, and every single time I read one, I come out happy and wanting more. I can I could do without nodding, but every other part of Omegaverse, obsessed with it. And yeah, I think I just need to really do some more exploration into it. And just kind of as an aside, I'm currently doing this with alien romances, where I'm doing a deep dive into the genre, and eventually we'll have a video up kind of just doing everything you need to know about it. But yeah, I think Omegaverse might be my next little project for that, but deeply enjoying this one so far. So we are following our Omega Ivy. She is in this institute where basically they send Omegas who are deemed not fit for society and kind of sent there to be, reinstitutionalized, re-educated, just taught how they should be within society. Because in this world, Omegas, they very much exist to temper alphas. So alphas have all of this power, all of this aggression, all of this rage usually, and Omegas tend to be the grounding force for them. So typically in a pack, there'll be an Omega who kind of balances the alpha and really kind of stops them from having major power trips / major rage issues and having all of these issues in the world. So our are Omega. She has been in this institute for years and years, it seems, at this point. And typically, if Omegas are deemed to not be able to be sent to Alphas, they're sent to like this breeding facility. But they've also determined that she's way too aggressive to even go there and has been basically deemed feral at this point, like to the point basically where it seems like the people at this institute are considering even putting her down because she is that aggressive towards them. Which also, when you see the mistreatment that they give her, totally relate. She is fully justified for all of her actions. But there is also this pack of alphas who they're called the Ghost Alphas, and I think they are mercenaries, warriors, some kind of like elite squad, and they're like the most dangerous of the dangerous alphas in the world, of course. So because they're so dangerous and they're a little unhinged, they're very dangerous. I just said dangerous, I said that again. Somebody comes up with the idea to send Ivy to them. They're like, she is feral, so maybe she will help you. You guys are a little too much. Maybe she'll calm you down. You'll be a bit less of a danger to society. It could be a win-win. And like the fact that you're all a little psychopathic, oh well, if you happen to hurt this Omega. So they get her, and immediately every one of them, of course, is just like obsessed with her, and all they want now is her. But she is very mistrustful, of course, after having been abused for years in this institute. And right now we are very much in this point where they are trying to like really, they're like almost going against everything that you would ever expect for them, and really just trying to make her comfortable, make her happy, and make her feel safe with them. Kind of adorable. And they're also all incredibly obsessed with her instantly. So that's where we are right now. She is like constantly trying to escape. She is like hating it. She feels like she's just in another prison. But every one of these alphas is just like, no, we want to take care of you. We want you to be happy. We want you to stay with us. And yeah, I'm having a great time. Really loving this. Fully like know where this is going. It's going to be wide shoes. It's going to be wonderful. And yeah, so many things I love in a book. So we are off, like, again, like truly to the best possible start. Okay, so I finished Feral Omega. Really enjoyed this, with some caveats, but I am gonna say I'll give this one 4 stars, and this was really like a fantastic recommendation for me. Spot on. This is what I like. So overall, enjoyed Omegaverse, enjoyed our shifter family alpha group, enjoy that stuff, enjoy that it's white shoes, enjoy a lot of the dynamics that are present between all of the characters. And I am thinking that this will be a series that will get better, because a lot of my issues with it are things that I think just need to be like built upon within this world. So I do think that all of the male main characters, there were 5, and aside from like 2, they all really kind of had the exact same personality. Like not really, but they really were interchangeable in my mind. There were 2 who kind of standouts, but all of the other ones, like they weren't distinguished enough in a lot of ways. They just kind of were carbon copies of each other, just like slightly different. So that's something that I'm hoping as the series progresses and as we get to know these characters, it will, be a little more apparent what these personality differences are. And that's something I'm excited for, because I am very curious about a lot of it. I think the world building can be grown upon a little bit more, and exactly what these alphas are doing, because they seem to be kind of like a mercenary group who are sent in to do these different missions. I'd like to learn a bit more about that, and like what exactly their place within the society is, and why they are fighting these people and these groups and these things. Want to know a bit more about that. And then in general, I'm excited as the series progresses to see these relationships. Really excited to learn more about the characters, and just really enjoyed the setup of a lot of this. So yeah, definitely going to be a series that I add into my rotation, and one that I'm very, very excited to continue on in. It was spicy, it was good, it had like so many boxes checked that I liked, and like no real complaints aside from just like I wanted more in certain places. So that's not a bad thing at all. This was a fantastic recommendation for me. Like one of these recs that is spot on. Absolutely. This fully is something that worked for me. And the recommendation was truly perfect. So this was great. And really, we're starting off this video like with a great note because of that. I started the Alien Protector's Mate, and I'm gonna outright say this is a Ice Planet Barbarians derivative. This is through and through basically the exact same thing as Ice Planet Barbarians, except our aliens in this world are winged monsters. I mean, winged aliens, and they live in this society where there are no women. They are told that generations ago they treated their women so badly that now they've all been sent inside this temple, and they all live inside there, and it is their mandate / mission in life is to make sure these temples are safe. None of them have ever seen a woman. They really have no way to know that this is actually true, and they I don't know the best way to say it. They worship this temple by bringing offerings of seed, and in these little jars, they're offerings, and then they find out eventually if one of the women inside accepted it and decided to make a child with them. And they get to, if it's a male child, it gets thrown out at them. If it's female child, it lives inside the temple, and they never know about it, never know anything else. And then we have our female main character. She and a group of other women were abducted from Earth and are sent, basically abducted and brought to a, what do we want to say? Like a market kind of. They're being sold off to the highest bidder. And a big group of these women end up being bought by this one alien who we can assume are going to be used for nefarious means. But while flying there, they kind of have to do a detour because apparently their ship is stolen or destroyed or something. So they land on this one planet just to kind of hide out from the officials. Something fishy is going on there. And immediately as soon as they go onto the ground, the females are like, okay, well, we need to go to the bathroom. There's nothing on the ship. Do you want this ship to be disgusting? Let's go onto the surface of this planet. And the guard / purchaser who's with them immediately gets attacked by this like giant monster and killed, and the girls just kind of scramble. Eventually some of them are found by these winged aliens and brought in, and our female main character and male main character are immediately drawn together, especially because he has these it's weird, but it's like his skin lit up basically recognizing her as his mate. And that's kind of where we are, is that he has recognized her as his mate and knows nothing about it. They can't communicate yet, but he's like, okay, this is my woman, this is her, I'm 100% in, I am going to protect her, and she is my everything. And just very, very Ice Planet Barbarians-esque, which isn't an issue for me. Like, to be fair, I only read the first 2 books in that series, but this one has potential. Okay, so I finished the Alien Protector's Mate. This one is only going to be a 3-star for me. So I do have to say, I do think this was a very solid recommendation. Like, I think this is definitely very in line with a lot of books that I like, and very in line with a lot of the alien romances I've been liking. And it majorly gave Ice Planet Barbarians vibes, but I'm not really complaining about that. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a detriment to this. Like, if you don't like Ice Planet Barbarians, I guess then it is, but I liked it a decent amount. And I will say that even though this wasn't really anything that original in that sense, there's a few things that I'm very, very curious to continue on in. There's a few plot points, and in particular, like, I think I was talking about this temple where all of the women of this society live, theoretically, and there's some kind of like machine thing that acts as their representative. I really want to know more about this. I'm curious. Like, I think something weird is happening there, and there's definitely like secrets at play and things our characters do not know about, and I want to know. I'm really, really curious to find out. So that is one thing that I'm actually like super, super excited to check out. So I am definitely going to continue on in the series. We also know like the romance that the next book is going to follow, and I'm very intrigued on that. They already set up like a few things that I think could be very, very interesting to follow, and just a few things that I think I would really enjoy. So decent recommendation. I'm always looking for more alien romance recs too, so really not upset that even though this wasn't like a 5-star read for me, I'm still very happy with it. And it's just gonna go into my little like mental repertoire of alien romances that I like. So I am very pleasantly happy with that part, at least. I've started our next book, which is Demon Reform Academy, and I'm having a fantastic time on this. So good. This has so many markers of things that I tend to love. So it's definitely going to be a wide choose romance, and it's kind of like magical school slash like female main character who's learning about her powers, things like that. It's cool. So we're in this world. All types of magical creatures exist. One of them are demons, and there's a ton of different subcategories of demons. There's shadow demons, dream demons, other things. But there's this reform academy for people who are demons, who basically either are unable to control their powers or who kind of need to be reformed before they can go back into society, slash that's what their family has deemed. And we are following a female main character. So she is in her early 20s and has spent her entire life locked basically inside a basement in a cellar dungeon by her mother, who was really trying to beat her into like harnessing her powers. So her mother was a shadow demon and was really worried, not even worried, was just convinced that the only way her daughter could manifest her powers was basically through pain. And all these years, it just kept not manifesting, way past what a normal demon is. So she kept her locked in the cellar and like extremely abused, really badly, really fucked up, really messed up. One day she ends up almost dying and unleashes her power, which turns out she is a very rare type of demon called a soul eater. And when she unleashed this power, it basically alerted all the other soul eaters in the world where she was. She got rescued and also found out that her father happened to be this really famous slash notorious soul eater, and he rescues her, brings her back to his palace, and is taking care of her. Now, a few months later, she's sent to this demon reform academy because she doesn't know much about demon society, doesn't know, like, has had no schooling, doesn't know how to use her powers. So she's kind of sent there just to learn more about society. And here, and now we're having fun. So in this world, there exists fated mates, and I have such a strong feeling that's where it's going to go. And that's going to be fated mates with several of these different men who exist in this academy. So one of them is a counselor slash a member of this demon council and good friends with her father. There seems to be a vibe. There is definitely a vibe between our main character and him. And then there's these three other demons who are kind of like outlaws almost within society. They were very much sent to this academy because they are trouble and their families want them reformed. All of them, it kind of seems like it's going to be a bit of a bully romance with them and our female main character, which I am not a huge thing, not super into. But they very much are drawn to her, but also incredibly cruel to her, slash don't know why I'm so interested in all of this stuff. But yeah, it's definitely going to go, I'm sure, going to go the way of fated mates, wide choose romance. No issue with that. One thing that I happen to deeply love. So I'm intrigued. I'm excited. This world building is interesting. I love the whole magical academy, liking kind of learning more about these demons. Just a lot of good things, a lot of things that I'm really excited about. So we are now done Demon Reform Academy, and overall I'll say pretty good. Really not coming out of this with any real complaints, I guess. The only thing is, again, I don't love a bully romance, so I always feel a little uncomfortable with those. But overall, the rest of it was really good for me. There were just so many things that worked well, so many things I enjoyed. I'm really interested in continuing this series too. It kind of went the exact way I was anticipating it, but I'm not upset with that. It's one of these books that I'm going into, and I have an idea what the general sense will be. I have an idea of what the general relationships will be, and it doesn't bother me because that's kind of the type of thing that I'm exactly wanting, it's something I'm gonna like it for a reason, I guess. The tropes are all things I enjoy. And yeah, I'm feeling very good about it. It still many things I think that will improve upon the series. Once this bully romance part is done, that'll be fantastic. I'm more interested in learning more about the male main characters because at the moment there's two that are kind of melding into one person in my brain. And I think as we go on, I'm hoping they will have more distinguished personalities. And there was this interesting plot throughout this of dark magic and demons' involvement with it that I think will be very interesting to follow as well. I'm very curious to see where it goes. And then also our female main character was just learning her powers, learning about the demon world, which I think is cool. I do enjoy that this one, typically my preference is a shifter why choose romance, but I like that this one was a little different, and I've never really seen a demon society kind of created like this. Like, there's nothing coming to mind for books that I've read with this type of magic specifically, and I do really appreciate that. I do think that that is something that I can very, very much get behind, and it's just like it done a bunch of different kind of mind magics and ways to mess with people. That's fine. That's fine. Like, it's interesting. It's something a little different. And overall, yeah, this was a fantastic recommendation for me. Like I said, like, why choose romance is fantastic. They are usually always a hit, but it's always reassuring to, to see that, yeah, this was a great recommendation. And yeah, I'm incredibly happy that this one worked out so well. So I did give this one 4 stars. Immediately downloaded book 2 as well. And like yet another one that it's going to be a series I continue. And I think that's going to be my only issue with this video, is that I am now starting 5 new series, and theoretically, if this goes well based on the recommendation, I will now have 5 series to continue on in, which not the end of the world, but maybe not the best thing. But I'm really, really happy I enjoyed this one. I think it was like a very good recommendation based off the Psycho Shifters kind of series. Similar vibes in a lot of ways. Maybe not as unhinged as Psycho Shifters, but maybe not a bad thing for a lot of people. And then I don't know what one I'm going to get into next, because I do have, I think Fractured Fate is another why choose romance, which maybe I'll be into the mood for another one right away. Maybe. And then the Forever War, I think it is Sci-Fi, which also I haven't read a sci-fi in a few weeks. So maybe I want to go there. I don't know. But anyways, I'm having a fantastic time with this. This is going like truly as good as I could have hoped. So I started and did finish Fractured Fates by Hannah something. I was going to come in and update a little bit earlier, but honestly, like, I really had nothing to say about this one, and I read it very, very quickly. And as you know, as you will have witnessed throughout this video, I love a why choose romance, and I love a book that's set in an academy, somebody who is discovering powers and all of these things. Yet, this, despite having all of that, was so bad. Honestly, so bad. I cannot think of a single thing in this one that ended up actually interesting me. And something about it felt like this author very much just took all these plot points and really did nothing with it. Did nothing. The writing was terrible. Like, I'm trying to think of anything to say aside from just I didn't like it. But this is one that it really nothing was sticking with me as I was reading it. There was nothing that was actually captivating my interest. Every one of the main characters just disappeared immediately out of my head. And I could not tell a single one apart. And the only thing that really stuck in my head is that our female main character had a pet pig, and which is random and weird. But when she was discovered and brought to this magical academy because she's some type of unregistered magical person, and these people found her and brought her there, she insisted on bringing her pet pig, and then everybody in this school started calling her Pig Girl. And yeah, that was kind of the only thing that really stuck in my head. The rest of it is just so uninteresting. Can guarantee I would have DNF'd this at 10% if I wasn't reading it for this video. And honestly, probably should have. I did not retain anything else past that, to be very honest. There was nothing that I cared about, nothing that I am going to come out of this with a positive. So yeah, maybe I should have just DNF'd it and saved myself the pain. Only positive to that, I guess, is that it read incredibly fast. So at least I didn't waste too much time with it, but not the best way to spend my day. Yeah, 2 stars. It's not a 1 star because I only give 1 stars to books I actively hate, but I didn't really like anything about this. So here we are. And yeah, this was a terrible recommendation. I understand it though, because it did have, like I said, every plot point that I tend to enjoy in this type of book. So many things that should have worked. I just don't think the writing was good. So I have started the Forever War, and this immediately, so it did have a foreword by John Scalzi in this, kind of talking about the similarities between the book, and I was like, okay, it can't be that similar, but genuinely, this one feels so far a ridiculous amount like Old Man's War, and just something about it, it's people from Earth being sent out to a war intergalactically. There's not a crazy amount of similarities, to be very, very serious. It's just people who are being sent out into combat against some alien alien force, but the vibe is similar, I think. But I do have to very unfortunately say that I don't think I'm liking this one that much. And I think it's just, I don't like the writing. It doesn't feel like there's a crazy amount of world building, slash the details that are there feel very stilted and like they are not really giving us a lot, because there's this war, it's against some kind of alien force, and people are shipped out to this war. And then I think we're going to follow them as they finish off their service years and come back to Earth, and just kind of see how crazy things have changed since then. And I mean, since they shipped out, and also just the impacts, I guess, that this alien war has had on the people of Earth. And like that premise sounds great to me. That is something that I think I really would enjoy. But it really, like, the writing is just not detailed in a lot of ways, and I really, really am struggling to kind of place what's happening, and I don't feel connected to any of the characters, and I don't feel like I understand this war necessarily. Like, it doesn't. I just really, really am not connecting in any way with it, and I really don't feel like I have a solid grasp on what's going on. And like, I am a huge sci-fi lover. In theory, this sounds like it would have been a great book for me, but it's not connecting. And I can't even say, like, because I think this is an older book. I do think maybe the 80s. That's not even like necessarily an issue, because like Dune is one of my favorite books, and that was from the 60s. So like, writing style that way isn't bad. I just feel like I'm not getting enough detail to really understand what's happening, and that is definitely being a huge detriment to me so far. Hi everyone. So I am here with my final update. I did finish The Forever War, and I'm going to kind of mirror some of what I said in the previous update, which is that I think a lot of this world building was interesting. I think where the novel went in some ways was really, really interesting, where we are starting on this character who's at war and then comes back to society and sees all these crazy ways the world has changed and is trying to adapt to it. But I don't know, like, the writing did not do anything that connected in my head. Like, there were interesting concepts, but then none of the execution actually followed through in a way that like worked for me, a way that I felt meaningful or interesting. Like, you know what I mean? It just didn't do anything besides that initial idea to captivate my interest. And that makes it, unfortunately, like very, very much a bit of a loss for me. Like, it definitely is something that I think could have been better, but I did not like the writing, unfortunately. The writing just really, really, really was not it for me. So I'm kind of teetering between a 2 and 3 star for this one. I think we're going to say like 2.5. And then I do always round up and give for these. So it's kind of more of a 3. But yeah, it kind of had interesting ideas in it, but I really don't feel like the execution actually went all the way through. But that being said, I do completely understand where this recommendation came from. I see a lot of parallels, I don't even know if I'd say parallels, but ideas that can kind of be transferred between these two books. And recommendation was the 3-body problem. Similar idea of alien invasion, and a lot of how society reacts and the different ways that society adapts also to this looming alien threat. So decent recommendation. It just did not end up working for me, unfortunately. But with that, we are now done this video. And overall, I think the recommendations were decent. I do see the parallels and a lot of reasons why some of these books are recommended to me. Some of them, just unfortunately were not the best and not necessarily the thing for me. Fantasy romance recs were fantastic. And I think I'm going to keep seeing, like, anytime I see a, little wide shoes recommendation that's coming up on my Goodreads, I think I'm just going to keep picking them up, because it seems like they're really, really tend to be something that I enjoy. So with that, thank you for watching, my friends. If you have not already, I would love if you would consider subscribing and, liking this video, commenting if you've read any of these, and hopefully I'll see you in a video very, very soon. Bye.